All right, welcome all of you to our channel Awaken Free India Movement. Today we are starting a new topic, a new series. Series means it will be a different playlist altogether. একটা নতুন প্লেলিস্টের মধ্যে এখানে আমরা কি কি রাখবো, let me tell you about that. We will do different aspects of Vedic education, but we will not only discuss about Vedic education, but also we will discuss um, different kinds of education that have been there in the Indian society. For example, Vedic education is the thing we used to have in our culture. Now, there are few schools who are maintaining it. Some people have improvised it in terms of modern context. I wouldn't say they have adapted to the contemporary society, they have adapted to the modern, so called modern society or environment, but they are not rejecting or discarding the Vedic education because this is too vast. When you talk about Vedic education, we talk about the wholesome development of an individual. Now, I have been mentioning this thing again and again that what do we mean by wholesome development of an individual? If you look at the new age gurus or the management gurus, corporate gurus, self help gurus, and all these people, you will see gradually they are coming towards this education because this is the thing our Muni Rishis discovered a long time back. And that was the cosmic wisdom they got from the universe, doing different techniques, different kinds of jog or yoga, different kinds of sadhana. They concentrated their efforts, their energy to explore something. সুশ্রুতের কথা যদি আমি বলি, সুশ্রুত explored surgery and other sciences. Aryabhatta, we can talk about numbers, mathematics. There were many other people. From there, we got Shoibo philosophy, we got Shankho philosophy, and different philosophies. So from Sanatana, we got Sikh Dharma, Buddha Dharma. Dhammapada is a book you can learn about Dhammapada. It's a beautiful book. Heart Sutras are there, and then even you can get the Heart Sutras read by Dalai Lama himself. That is available on YouTube and other places also. The book or the chanting, the way he is reading, or Karmapa is also reading the sutras. You can do that. Mohayan Buddhism, Vajrayan Buddhism, and different kinds of Buddhism you can learn about. Sanatan is very vast, so it is consisting of a lot of things. But broadly, people talk about the Vedas, Upanishads, and other scriptures. Smritis, Shrutis, and all people talk about. So this is very vast. So when you are motivated to read about all these things, why should you get motivated? That is the first question, right? This is your own culture. Being an Indian, you are supposed to know about your culture because that is giving you a self-respect, a dignity, and it is giving you an identity also. If you call yourself an Indian or a citizen of the world, then you belong to a culture. You have been in a culture for a long time. So you are exploring that culture. You are getting to know yourself. You are getting to know that culture. There we have the scriptures which teach us how we can know about the cultures. Now, at that time, Sanskrit was one of the more of language used for communication. There were different kinds of Sanskrit, something for writing, which was a bit more organized, sometimes a bit tougher also. And there was one which was meant to be for the general public. That was also Sanskrit, but that was meant to be for the general public. That was a bit easier. So if you talk about the Bengali language, আমাদের সাধু ভাষা থাকে যেটাতে বিদ্যাসাগর খুব লিখেছিলেন। বিদ্যাসাগর, if you observe Vidyasagar, if you explore Vidyasagar in Bengal, you will realize যে সংস্কৃত ভাষা শিখে, when you are motivated to learn Sanskrit and other languages, you are exploring the education scenario, you will see the energy he is bringing to the other languages as well. তো ঈশ্বরচন্দ্র বিদ্যাসাগর যখন লিখতেন তখন he used সাধু ভাষা। বাট যখন আমরা কথা বলছি, পরে আস্তে আস্তে সাবলীল একটা চলিত ভাষার চলন হয়েছে। এখন যখন আমরা কথা বলি, অনেক সময় সাধু ভাষা শুনলে আমাদের মনে হয় তো আর্কেইক ফর্ম, বাট মাঝে মাঝে আমরা বলি কেন, বলে ভালো লাগে। আবার সেখানে বাঙাল ঘটি একটা ডিফারেন্সিয়েশন আছে, সেখানে ভাষার কিছু তারতম্য আছে। সো দিস ইজ সাপোজ টু বি আ লট অফ ফান, সেম ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ ইউজড ইন এ ডিফারেন্ট ওয়ে। সেরকম সংস্কৃত ভাষার ক্ষেত্রেও ছিল। আর মগধী অপভ্রংশ আছে, এরকম ভাবে অপভ্রংশ হতে হতে বাংলা ভাষাটা এসছে। তামিল ভাষার সাথে অনেকটা কানেকশন আছে, অনেকে তো বলে তামিল সংস্কৃতেরও পুরনো। সো উই উইল ডু আ সেশন অন দ্যাট অলসো, বাট আই এম টকিং অ্যাবাউট দ্য এনার্জি অফ দ্য ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ অফ সংস্কৃত. In terms of the structure, Paninir Bakaran, we will talk about Paninir Bakaran, how we can look at the patterns, different kinds of scientific aspects of it, the patterns of it, and how it is sounding. The sound itself has a vibration or frequency that can take you closer to the earth-based frequency also. So there are many aspects of it. মানে আমরা যখন শাক বাজাই, there it has a sound, and that has an universal cosmic connection. সো ওই নেচারের মেটেরিয়াল থেকে তো তৈরি হয়েছে শাকটা, সেটা দিয়ে যখন আমরা ফু দিয়ে বাজাচ্ছি, আমরা ইউনিয়ন হয়ে একটা সাউন্ড তৈরি করছি ইন হারমোনি, যেটা আমাদের কসমিক একটা হারমোনির দিকে নিয়ে যাচ্ছে। সেটাকে আমরা প্রেয়ারের মধ্যে দিয়ে ইউজ করছি, অ্যান্ড উই আর কামিং ক্লোজার টু দ্য কসমস অর দ্যাট অ্যাবসলিউট ট্রুথ অর দ্যাট গড or the infinite, intelligence. We are coming closer towards that. But আমাদের প্রেয়ার যখন আমরা করছি, then we are dedicating ourselves towards that bigger force. ঠিক আছে, সেটাকে অনেকে সারেন্ডার বলে, সারেন্ডার ইজ মিসইউজড ইন আ লট অফ ওয়েজ, বাট সেটা হচ্ছে একটা মানে বিগার ফোর্সের কাছে সারেন্ডার করা থ্রু প্রেয়ার, থ্রু ভক্তি, যেটাকে আমরা ভক্তি যোগ বলতে পারি। যদি ধ্যানের মধ্যে দিয়ে করতে পারি সেটা হতে পারে, পশ্চার্সের মধ্যে দিয়ে করতে পারি, আমরা করতে পারি, বাট আলটিমেটলি উই আর এমব্রেসিং দ্যাট বিগ ফোর্স উই হ্যাভ অ্যারাউন্ড আস। শাকের শব্দ বলতে বলতেই চলে এলো, সো ইউ ক্যান লিসেন টু ইট। এটা এটা একটা আছে। তারপরে আমাদের যেটা জানতে হবে, হোয়াট আই উইল টক অ্যাবাউট ইন দিস লাইক ফোর্থ কামিং এপিসোডস, যে আমাদের ভেদিক এডুকেশনটা কত ইম্পর্টেন্ট ছিল। অ্যান্ড উইথ দ্যাট হোয়াট আই উইল টক অ্যাবাউট ইজ কিভাবে ইনভেশন হয়েছে, সেটা এডুকেশনে একটা প্রভাব ফেলেছে। ইটস অ্যাবাউট দ্য মাইন্ডসেট। তারপরে আমার যখন ব্রিটিশ ইস্ট ইন্ডিয়া কোম্পানি যখন এসেছিল, হোয়াট দে স ইন দ্য ইন্ডিয়ান এডুকেশন সিস্টেম, আই হ্যাভ অলরেডি মেনশন ম্যাকলে, I have already mentioned his minutes. He gave that in the parliament. যে এরকম দেশ আমি দেখিনি যেখানে কোনো চুরি নেই, কিছু নেই। তাকে যদি ভাঙতে হয় তাহলে আমাদের এডুকেশন সিস্টেমটাকে আগে নষ্ট করতে হবে। So we discarded Sanskrit. They told us, and we discarded Sanskrit, which was supposed to be a language which was so rooted to our culture. Not only that, it was such a scientific language and such a great language that now people are talking about Sanskrit in different aspects. Now they are studying it in from different perspectives. Somebody is studying the scientific aspect of it, somebody is studying the spiritual aspect of it, somebody is doing both. The more they are discovering, the more they are studying, the more they are discovering the essence of the language and what effect it can have in your well-being, in your personality, in your character, so and so. So NASA has done the discovery or experimentation or exploration research. We have talked many times we have talked about it many times. তো কসমসের একটা সাউন্ড আছে, সেখান থেকে নাদ যোগা যদি আমরা বলি, সেটা উই ক্যান লার্ন অ্যাবাউট নাদ যোগা অলসো। সাউন্ড দিয়েও আমরা যোগের মানে এক্সপ্লোরেশন, অ্যানাদার পাথ ডিসকভার করেছি। Many people do that. You listen to all kinds of music, solfeggio frequency we talk about. We will do a session on solfeggio frequency also, that has a kind of pattern of the nature, এবং সেটা হচ্ছে কি, যেটা আমাদের এই স্কেলের মধ্যে যে নোটগুলো আছে সেটার থেকে ফ্রিকোয়েন্সিটা একটু ভ্যারি করছে, দ্যাট ইজ হ্যাভিং অ্যান এফেক্ট। 8 হার্টজ, সেটার মাল্টিপল হলে কি হবে, উই উইল টক অ্যাবাউট দ্যাট। নাও যেটা আমি বলছিলাম যে টুডে মডার্ন গুরুজ দে আর কামিং টুয়ার্ডস হোয়াট, ওয়েস্টার্ন সোসাইটিতেই বেশি আমি বলছি। কেন সব থেকে ভুল যেটা হয় যে উই ফরগেট আওয়ার ওন কালচার, উই ফরগেট আওয়ার ওন আইডেন্টিটি, and some people when they observe us, even if we don't know about ourselves, they when they look at from the external point of view, they know more about ourselves, right? So if you don't know about your strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats, we talk about SWOT. What is it basically? If you don't know about your strength, your weakness, your opportunities you have around you, the threats you are facing around you, if you are not aware about that, then the external force will take over. They will take advantage of it, right? So that happened with India also. You didn't know, or you never cared about the language, the great language you used to have. That was your strength. That was supposed to be your strength. That is your strength, in fact. But when you didn't hold on to a standard, when you didn't stand your own ground, if I say so, so the external people came and they took advantage of it. They discarded Sanskrit as a language. They thought English was a superior language. Now they are doing studies in the Western society, but they also respected Sanskrit. If you look at Oxford and other universities, they also respect Sanskrit because they know what Sanskrit can do to your overall wholesome well-being. So they understood it, they took it. Many people translated their books. Some people came here and translated. Somewhere there, they got information, they did the research and then translated. That has a huge difference. We will talk about that also. Max Muller and all these people who didn't come to India, they translated these things. And there are people who actually came to India and they translated many of these books from Sanskrit to English. Then also many people were looking at it from different perspectives, perspective of Christianity and other perspectives also. But few people, as I talked about prayer, na, when we talk about prayer, we are respecting that infinite source. Now you can take a path of Christianity, you can take a path of other dharmas, Buddhism, Jainism, whatever it is, but you are reaching that infinite source. So some people got connected from that infinite source of being, so irrespective of any religion, they connected to that infinite force. Maybe they are not tangible, they are not describing it in a tangible form, but they could sense it, they could feel it. So their interpretation was a bit better, because if you talk about the Sanatan Dharma, they are the closest to the absolute truth. It's about reality, what you face in your daily life. They quantified it, they put it down on their scriptures, but many people were not ready to receive that knowledge. So, due to arrogance, due to superiority complex, many people discarded that, but very few people who got the essence of it, they applied it in their own well-being, as well as they wrote books and did other, gatherings or other seminars, so that they could preach the essence of that language. But you have to understand, as a culture, what we are supposed to do. We need to respect our language or culture, so that we can tell those people also that if we have a creative discussion, we can bring our point of view also, our perspective, and then we can have a creative discussion. They are bringing their points, we are bringing our points. We can try to get to know the knowledge in a better way. We can see the knowledge in a better way. We can use the knowledge in a better way. Not only writing, we can create an opera with it, we can create a musical performance with it, we can create a movie based on it, we can write dialogues based on Sanskrit. Just imagine, since I mentioned it is in my mind, maybe one day I will do, because I do a lot of these things, a movie entirely based on rhymes and songs. There is no dialogue, it's like a musical or opera. We are just using music and dialogues, poetry or songs, no dialogues. So we can do something with Sanskrit also. Maybe I will write something based on that. I will share with you people. But these are the experiments we can do as a language. So fascination with the languages, just like we are learning Latin language, we can do something with the Sanskrit language also. No dialogue, nothing. We are just using the chants or using some kind of songs based on Sanskrit language. We are creating a performance out of it, right? So the performance is affecting us emotionally. The language itself is affecting us scientifically, spiritually, in many ways. In a multi-dimensional way, we can have an entertainment based on Sanskrit language. So now we need to redefine the entertainment, the definition of entertainment also. I mean, what is entertainment? You tell me. If you have junk food and you are uh, it is having an effect in your body, but you are calling it as entertainment. Now you are looking at another entertainment which is like uplifting you in a wholesome way. That is also entertainment, right? So due to many narratives and propaganda, what has happened in the society is, suppose you are like you are watching something that is having an effect on yourself, that has become the definition of entertainment. But entertainment itself, as the definition, is not bad. You can get entertained from an opera of Sanskrit, an opera of Latin, or whatever it is. In India, the term has been used very loosely to just define a particular subset of entertainment, which might be injurious to health also sometimes. But we don't get it. We keep consuming it because we differentiate that for entertainment, we are looking at these people, they don't have to do anything in our real life. So subconsciously, unconsciously, through society, they try to take advantage of it, and they have an influence on the society. And then we repent, or we go into depression, and we think that what happened to the society. What happened? Because we couldn't see that person or that those people in a wholesome way. We just thought that they are a part of entertainment. We are not involving them in our personal life, but they want to invade in your personal life through society, through many other ways. So you are affected by them in any way, anyway. That is the thing you have to understand, that for entertainment we cannot accept anything, just anything, any shit. We cannot do that, right? So talking about that again, I will come to the thing that modern gurus, if we talk about, they're talking about your body exercise, that is having a benefit, physical benefits, your body. Mind, you are doing mental exercises. If you write daily also, that is also like going into the gym. You are exercising your writing muscles. We talk about we talk about all these things. You are exercising your writing muscles. When you do the critical thinking, you are exercising your reasoning muscles and all that stuff, logical reasoning, critical thinking, and all these things. And spiritually, heartfully. So your mind, body, heart, and soul, in every way, they are looking at the four aspects. Western societies now, mind, body, heart, and soul. In these four ways, you can become a more wholesome human being. And if you look at our Upanishads, if you look at our Vedas, if you look at our scriptures, they have been talking about the same thing for a long time. You are developing yourself as a wholesome human being. You're learning art, you're learning science, you're learning other things, you're learning how to debate, you're learning how to discuss, you are learning how to ask questions. Everything is part of the education. That was India's culture. We lost that culture because somebody from somebody externally came, and they did some external influence on us, and for their own benefit they discarded the language, they discarded the cultural spine we had, the cultural characteristics we used to have. They destroyed it or they discarded it. Now they are doing the research, they are coming closer to this thing, what is written in our scriptures. Now is the time we should vouch for our culture. Now is the time which we should vouch for the language we used to have or still have, Sanskrit, and our cultural spine, our cultural character. We should vouch for it. I would say each and every individual, but it takes some time. So it can start with the influencers, it can start with the innovators, then gradually people will pick up. They are always looking for leadership, right? This is the thing of our culture. They are always looking for leadership. That is why they saw leadership in other people who actually invaded in various phases. The Islamic invasions happened, then East India Company came, so and so, all these things, because they were looking towards leadership. They didn't make themselves as a leader. So that was a fault we had. So that is the fault you had, like in a culture. That is the fault you had. Right now, the thing is that we are living in a modern age now, right? I think we have created enough leaders for the world from this country. Now we cannot hold on to that mindset anymore. Now we have strong leadership in many aspects of the fields. Like in many fields, we have a lot of leadership created in India who are giving leadership to global companies also, right? So now is the time we should vouch for our culture, and we should start doing it so that after a while we start doing experimentation and innovative stuff using our language and culture, right? So there is a chance, plateau. There is a thing called plateau. When you reach a plateau, either you can go up from there or you go down from there. So if you let yourself go and if you just go down now, then you will lose a lot of your culture or cultural character. Sanskrit is one thing that will remain, but people will make you disrespect Sanskrit. There is a huge plan. But now, if you hit the rising curve, then you can straight away go to the rising curve from that plateau. How will you do that? You understand Sanskrit, English. You do English. That's a great language to have for global communication. You need English, but not disrespecting Sanskrit. That is what I'm talking about. You learn Sanskrit, you learn English, you learn other languages, Hindi, you learn Bengali, you learn Tamil, you learn Kannada, whatever it is. You learn all these languages, but you don't discard Sanskrit. Oh, শুনতে কঠিন লাগে, পড়তে কঠিন লাগে, because when you are playing with the language also, you learn so much. Look at as mathematics, look at as something else like an artistic exercise. Just look at the language, how the words are getting formed, how we can innovate, like how we can innovate something, innovate with this language, innovate an art form with this language. The current mode of communication is a language, maybe Hindi, maybe English, or any other thing. We are just replacing that language, but the art form is intact. What Sanskrit can bring to the art form, it will bring a lot of things because it is connected to the cosmos. So scientifically, spiritually, pattern wise, it will bring a lot of things that will change the rhythm also. So your rhythm will change, your entire art form will change. You can do all these avant-garde exercises also, innovative exercises. So you're just changing the language and what effect it is bringing to that art form or that scientific experiment. And I can assure you that will elevate it, that will never take it down, because Sanskrit elevates you. It makes you a wholesome human being also, because it is affecting your mind, body, heart, and soul. When you look at the mathematics part, it is affecting the mind part. Body part, when you are doing yoga with it, you are tuning yourself to this universe, so that you can receive more. When you are doing it like a prayer, you are involving either your heart and soul, or you are involving both. When you are like uttering those chants in the that mantra, those words, you are praying. So you are, what the gurus are telling, you are doing the same thing using Sanskrit. Such a great language it is. Now Vedic education we used to have. Now I will just talk about few things and then I will wrap it up. When you talk about Vedic education, now, first you have to learn that what is the difference. When you talk about Vedic education, you have to understand what are the other types of education, what happened to our culture, how it went through different phases, right? Just give me 1 second. আমাদের আগে পইতে হতো, তখন উপনয়ন বলা হতো যেটাকে, সেখান দিয়ে যেন মনে করা হতো যে স্টুডেন্ট এখন রেডি হচ্ছে টু রিসিভ দ্যাট। তারপর ব্রহ্মচর্য, গার্হস্থ্য, বানপ্রস্থ আর সন্ন্যাস, এই চারটে ফেজ ছিল আমাদের লাইফে, ঠিক আছে? তো সেরকম 1781-এ আমি দেখবো একটা হিউজ চেঞ্জ, বাট জাস্ট লেট মি টেল ইউ what happens here. আমরা ভেদিক এডুকেশন নিয়ে কথা বলছি, তো ফার্স্টে আমি বলবো এটা কি হচ্ছে, যেখানে আমরা যে কোনো এডুকেশন যদি আমরা ভালোভাবে করতে চাই, আমি আগের দিন বলেছিলাম যে রেসপেক্টিং দ্য ডিফারেন্সেস একটা খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট ব্যাপার। We talk about it so much. Now if you talk about in this context of Sanskrit, they didn't do that at that time, but now we can do that because almost everyone is talking about that, respecting the difference in educated societies. So when they came, they should have respected the difference. They should have kept both Sanskrit and English, but they didn't respect that. So but few people did. Few people did. They had another issue, another problems. They had to run the administration or the governance. They had to do the governance part. But now we can do that. So you are respecting the difference. You can take Sanskrit. You can learn about Latin. You can learn about English also. So you can know Devanagari. Yes. But before that, whatever you do, you have to do one thing. You have to know yourself. Who you really are. Demet nosce in Latin. Okay. In English, this is know yourself, English. And if you talk about Sanskrit, we talk about Atman and Brahman, these concepts. So you will see this is just know yourself, one like two words. Here you have two words, Demet nosce. But when you talk about Atman and Brahman, these are like big indexes. This is also an index because you are having so much things. but these having two great indexes. With Atman, you can get a lot of things if you understand the philosophy of it. In Brahman, you can get a lot of things. There is a bit of overlap, but you can discover it yourself. Okay. Now you have to understand, Jay, what happened to our thing. আমি জাস্ট কয়েকটা ফেজ বলছি, ওয়্যার ইজ দ্য কারসার। আমি জাস্ট কয়েকটা ফেজ বলছি। একটা ছিল হচ্ছে ব্রহ্মচর্য, একটা ছিল গার্হস্থ, আমি স্পেলিংটা একটু ভুল হবে, ব্রহ্মচর্য, গার্হস্থ, বানপ্রস্থ, সন্ন্যাস। এটা ছিল, এটা খুব সাইন্টিফিক্যালি প্রুভেন, বাট কিছু লোক অনেক সময় চেঞ্জও করতে পারে ফেজগুলো। বা এটা ভেবে করা হয়েছিল, কেননা এটার একটা মানে এফেক্ট ছিল। এই একটা টাইমে আমি একটা জিনিসের উপর কনসেন্ট্রেট করছি, তারপরে আমি একটু এদিক সেদিক করতে পারি। সো মডার্ন ওয়েতে উই ক্যান অ্যাডাপ্ট। বাট এইগুলো আমি আমি কি বলবো, মানে হোয়াট আই থিঙ্ক অফ ইজ, এইগুলোকে আমাদের একটা ফেজকে এসেন্সটা খুব ইন্টারনালাইজ করা উচিত। যে when I am doing brahmacharya, what I am supposed to do, I am maintaining that. Maybe it is for 2 days I am maintaining that. Garhosto, I can understand what is it to be a garhosto. So different aspects of it. Vanprosto, sannyas. Living in the society, we can go to sannyas. Maybe এক সপ্তাহের জন্য আমি সান্ন্যাসটা কি বুঝে আমি সেটাকে ফলো করলাম, ঠিক আছে। তো এখন আমরা মডার্ন কন্টেম্পোরারি সোসাইটিতে সেভাবে করতে পারি, সেটা একটা হলো। বাট আমাদের যেটা বুঝতে হবে, প্রথমে হয়তো বেদিক এডুকেশন ছিল। আমি জাস্ট ব্রডলি বলছি, প্রথমে আমাদের বেদিক এডুকেশন ছিল। আমাদের ইনভেশনস একটা যেটা হলো, আমি ইসলামিক ইনভেশনই বলবো। তার মধ্যে অনেক কিছু, তুর্কিক, আফগান, আরব যেগুলো আছে, আমি সবই বলে দিচ্ছি ইসলামিক ইনভেশন এর আন্ডারে। আবার যদি আমি দেখি ব্রডলি, তাহলে আমাদের হলো ইস্ট ইন্ডিয়া কোম্পানি, ক্রিশ্চিয়ানিটি অ্যান্ড অল দিস। ক্রিশ্চিয়ানিটি বলবো না, ইস্ট ইন্ডিয়া কোম্পানি, বিকজ দে হ্যাড দেয়ার ওন থিং টু ডু। তো এখন এখানে আমরা একটা জায়গায় রয়েছি যেখানে we have seen this, the effect of this. কেন এটা কি হচ্ছে? ও আরেকটা যেটা একটা বড় ভুল আছে, I forgot to mention. You need to understand about this guy, Abul Kalam Azad. Many people call him Maulana Azad. This guy was made the first education minister after transfer of power. This is 1947. Now from here we have come here. Acha, this is not properly measured, like এই যে সিমেট্রিক অ্যাসিমেট্রি একটু প্রবলেম আছে, কিন্তু এখানে নাম্বার অফ ইয়ার্স অনুযায়ী অনেক সময় দেখে মনে হতে পারে ইকুয়াল নাম্বার অফ ইয়ার্স। আই এম নট মেনটেনিং দ্যাট, আই এম জাস্ট টেলিং ইউ দ্য chronological occurrences, ঠিক আছে। So now we are staying here 2022, right? Now we have to decide what are the decisions we are going to take. We have seen this happening, we have seen this happening, we have seen this happening, and we have seen this part also. Again, I will talk about the 4 generations. We have Gen Z, we have millennials. They are getting affected a lot, because if we don't take care of Gen Z and millennials, then the society will go towards decadence again. Because many people are targeting these people, Gen Z and millennials, so that they can push their narrative, their propaganda, their agenda for a longer time. And mark my words, they need continuous indoctrination. We don't need it. It's not about we or them. So this particular sect needs, I would say, breaking India forces, indoctrination, or neo-invaders, the way I say indoctrination, and it is continuous. They need it. They need it. Otherwise, they won't survive. Their propaganda, their messages won't survive. So they will find a way to do continuous indoctrination. Whereas if you go to Vedic education or Sanatana Dharma, যদি আমি বলি properly, the essence of it, I'm not a Sanatan নামটা শুনলেই অনেকে বলে this is such a bad thing, all this, because you have been brainwashed in this. This is huge depth. If I call about depth, this is about depth. You as an individual, the things you perform, the things you do, anything, science, art, anything you do, you have got depth in it when you are pursuing this. So once you need to internalize Sanatan Dharma and the essence of it, Vedic education and all these things, then you are gone. Whatever you do, you just choose. You choose in a field of science, you choose a field of art, and you can explore that field, and you can go to like epitome of success. You go to greater heights, internalizing the aspects. So I'm not talking about you mention the names, you mention the words. That's not the thing. You understand the essence of it. What is it about? And that's a part of your cultural identity. So I will say cultural character also. Cultural identity, cultural character also. Even as I mentioned just a while ago, Jay, people who are from the Abrahamic religions, when they are taking themselves closer to the cosmos or that infinite source, they are also following the Sanatana Dharma philosophy only. In India, I'm talking about, because in a way, they are following the Sanatana Dharma culture, whether they say it or not. So that is the thing. That's why I didn't mention Hindu Dharma. I mentioned Sanatana Dharma. So they need continuous indoctrination. But when we do the prayer and all this stuff, and our rituals and practices, we can you can have prayer, we can have rituals, we can have practices. Now, did anyone ever tell you during the rituals that this is the best dharma, this is the best dharma? Nobody tells, right? Nobody tells you that this is the best dharma, this is the best thing, this is the superlative thing. Nobody tells you that. Once you do the prayer, once you do the rituals, once you do the practices, you maintain a kind of self-respect. You develop a kind of self-respect. So from there, what you do is you develop a sense of self-respect. You develop a sense of character. You develop yourself as great individuals and great communities also. So continuously, you don't need to tell yourself that you are superlative, you are great. We don't have to. Rather, we go towards that exploration so that we can achieve that greatness and find God within us, right? So we are all God particles, as Carl Sagan mentioned. So he came from his religion, and he could relate to the Sanatan Dharma because he was, through scientific exploration, he was going closer to the cosmos. Okay, so great individuals, great communities, self-respect, sense of character. These are the prerequisite to be a great individual or a great citizen of the world. No matter what culture you belong to, no matter what language you speak, if you take care of all these things, no matter what profession you belong to, you will excel in your life. You don't need a continuous indoctrination. Rather, with each prayer, you are going closer towards God. The God is within you, right? So with this, and then transfer of power, I must mention this guy was made the education minister. Education minister. And when this guy was made education minister, it has a it had a purpose. It had a propaganda. So for a while, Congress, Education Minister Maulana Azad, and all these people together, they wanted to shape the youth of in the country. They wanted to shape the people of the country in a different way. Now, what happens is people who have seen the partition, people who have seen the tragedy of the entire partition process, the things they used to do before the partition, they have seen that. Some died, some are still there. So you have very few people who can actually tell you the truth or actually guide you through the things that happened during this period. But and also in this period, what happened during this Islamic invasion, whatever happened in this period, or EIC, whatever happened, many people will not tell you what actually happened. They will tell you what sounds good. So Islamic invasion, it was portrayed in the history books in a great way. East India Company, it was portrayed in many history books in great ways. They did some great things, obviously, but they did a lot of exploitation also. India's economy shattered, if I say so. Before, it used to be a rich country. So whatever it is, they wanted to shape the people using this propaganda, using this narratives and all that stuff. So for a while, if I say even like কিছু বছর আগে পর্যন্ত, what happened is people used to know the wrong history. Now there is a change. Now people are awakened. People are awakening also. So what is happening? People are becoming more aware of the things that happened in the past. They are looking at the both. They are looking at both the sides. This thing that was there in the history books, this thing that actually happened. That is why this continuous indoctrination people, let me just change the color of this continuous indoctrination people, they use this thing. They want to target this Gen Z people and millennials people so that they can push their agenda for some time more. Okay, because that is what they do. So what happened is, as I mentioned, that education is a way how you do that mass. When you educate the mass, either you do it directly through education or you do through entertainment. Now there is a niche set of people, niche যেখানে থাকছে, তারা education করে, they know what to do in their life. They are not thinking about the mass. But when you are affecting the mass, basic education, primary education is your fundamental right. So that's why we have many free schools where we can teach also as a social work also. But if you want to affect the mass directly, you can do it through education or you can do it through entertainment. And they captured both in phases. Different people came into the game at different time, at different phases. They just changed the thing depending on the top leadership, depending on the people who came into power. Everything changed. Now this continuous indoctrination people, they are after this education part also, because they have messed the entertainment for a long time. Now they have created some name, they have created fame. Now they are just using their goodwill, brand equity and all that stuff. So they are almost done with entertainment. Now they are hopeless about it. They are frustrated and depressed. Now some of these people who are believing in continuous indoctrination, if you take the advertisement also, sometimes this is also continuous indoctrination. So they are now coming towards the education sector. You know what is the reason? One of the most important reasons. There are many reasons, I will tell you gradually. But one of the reasons is they want to target the Gen Z and millennials so that they can carry the agenda forward. They can carry the agenda forward. That's why in Indian society, if you talk about entertainment, generally are serving people as like students of 9th or 10th standards, or people of 9th and 10th standard, or that age group, So you will see that 15 to 25, I'm just roughly putting it because this is not exactly right. You can do plus minus 5. 15 to 25 is a good number of year, like age they prefer. That's their TG, if I say target group. 15 to 25 is a great thing. And then less than that also, and slight like up till 30 to 35. So from here also. But 15 to 25 is a very important age group they follow and they want to influence because they will carry their agenda forward. আজকে যে 15 সে যদি এদের দেখে ইনফ্লুয়েন্স হয়ে যায়, if that person lives for another 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 years, they will keep them in mind. They will keep their agenda in their mind. So that's why they are in the education sector, one of the most important reasons, and they are also in the entertainment sector. And this guy destroyed the history, many things in the history, because a distorted history you were taught, one side of the history you were taught. There is no mention of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, for whose great sacrifice the freedom movement was propelled in a better manner. We got a great push from Bose and Azad Hind Fauj, but there are very few books who actually mention all these things. Even we have some people who belong to the lineage of some people who actually served in that army, Azad Hind Fauj. They are also betrayers. They don't vouch for that also. So such betrayers we have within us, such shallow people we have among us. So we need to know about all these things now. So I will just end it today because Vedic education. Next time je episode ta korbo, I'll talk about how we did it. But just I will briefly mention few things যেখানে আমাদের কি কি আছে আমি একটু বলি। আমাদের বেদাস আছে, ঋগ্বেদ, যজুর্বেদ, সামবেদ and অথর্ববেদ, and these are classified as samhitas or mantras or benedictions. আরণ্যক আছে and brahmans আছে যেগুলো text on rituals, ceremonies and sacrifice, comment on those rituals. Now these rituals, you were told also, these rituals are not good things. ঠিক আছে, you might believe that that is perfectly fine, we are living in a democratic country and we can choose our own thing. But the thing is that that ritual has a scientific value. So if somebody tells you the scientific value of the ritual, maybe you will follow it. But there are very few who can actually guide you through the rituals. That's why we don't understand the necessity or the meaning of it. So we need to tell the youth why these things are necessary. Maybe there are something, I also personally believe there are something which I not find necessary in my life. I cannot generalize it, right? So it may be not fruitful in my life, so I can tell someone else that you might choose it yourself and you can find out whether it is good for you or not. I'm not forcing you to do so. That is what we need to do also. Maybe something is not good for you, that is good for me. Maybe something is not good for you, good for me. Or there are many rituals we are good for all of us, irrespective of the culture we belong to, anything. We can find that also. Gradually, after that discussion, argument, or exploration, we will find that this ritual, we didn't understand it enough. Maybe that is also good for everyone else. That is the exploration. That is the thing. We are exploring our own culture. How fascinating it is. You have to understand that. Upanishad, আমরা meditation, philosophy, spiritual world, very vaguely put, but we can do all these things. Vedangas আছে আমাদের যেখানে phonetics আমরা পড়ছি, ritualistic knowledge, grammar, the science of interpretation আমরা পড়ছি, metrics পড়ছি, astronomy পড়ছি. Astronomy, science এগুলো একটা বিশাল ভূমিকা ছিল। এবং আমি আরেকটা কথা বলবো, যে জিনিসটা আমাদের সনাতন ধর্ম খুব বেশি শেখায়, I'll just mention it briefly and then I'll end it. যেহেতু we don't believe in continuous indoctrination, that's why what we can learn is the science of interpretation. You might have a debate, you might have a discussion, you might have asking question, and there are many ways, you know. There are critical thinking, where you're asking question, all these things, and there are many things, etc. What you do is your science of interpretation that improves irrespective of any culture, whatever it is. But when you do the continuous indoctrination, inherently, where is the fight? You understand why all these fights are going on, because this science of interpretation and continuous indoctrination, this is versus, inherently they have some enmity within it. This is the science of interpretation or exploration, where we are understanding the infinite. This is an exploration. We are doing it with curiosity. Exploration. We want to seek. We are doing it as a seeker, explorer. They know it all. They have whatever they have in their books, they know it all. Everything is there. There is no further necessity to discover. That's why Nalanda got destroyed. You don't need to have these books. We have one book, we have two books, that will do. That is why this system is suffering. That is why the universities are in target. So that's why I tell you that universities are targets for these people. Education system is target for these people. The entire education fraternity is target for these people, and they have a very destructive mindset. whatever they associate with, they are looking to destroy that thing if that is good. That is why Sanatan Dharma got diminished. They tried to do so many things, but India still stood still till now, and it will continue to stand still. So this science of interpretation, they have a lot of flaws in their interpretation, because they are doing continuous indoctrination. The moment you stop that indoctrination, they will go towards Sanatana Dharma only, because they are exploding. So that's why, to know about something in a particular way, they all do all these things, right? So that's why we have an inherent enmity. We don't have the enmity, they have the enmity, because they cannot see a powerful thing progressing. They cannot withstand a very powerful thing, and Sanatana Dharma is a very powerful thing. That's why they are behind the entertainment sector, behind the education sector, so that somehow, if they can grab the Gen Z and millennials people, they will know. They will not know about the Vedic education. They will not know about their cultural fabric, their cultural character. Then they can break the spine of the character, and they can make them slaves. So slavery, when you do the continuous indoctrination, this is actually, this process is slavery. When you do that continuously, this is called slavery. This is where you actually have freedom. Now, so sometimes what happens is, uh, people find freedom in this part. They are actually closer to the Sanatana Dharma philosophy only, in a way. That's why they are finding the freedom within these things. But if they blindly follow, people who blindly follow those people, they are actually slaves, and they want to make other people as slaves. They want to create more slaves in the society, because that is their only way of thinking. So inherently there is a enmity in them, not in us, because we are free people. We want people to be free, maybe through knowledge, maybe through work, maybe through their own independence, whatever it is. So this is very important, you have to understand this. ঠিক আছে? So I will end it here. It's a short session. In the next episode, I will go towards what are the things we learn in the Vedic education. But two things I will talk about. Just I will end with this. I will talk about it in Bengali. একটা হচ্ছে ভাব সম্প্রসারণ। ভাব সম্প্রসারণ কেন বলা হয়, সেটাও ইন্টারপ্রিটেশনের সায়েন্সটাকে ইউজ করা হয়। এই ইন্টারপ্রিটেশনের যে সায়েন্সটা আমি দিলাম, এইখান থেকে একটা জিনিস আছে ভাব সম্প্রসারণ। when you are given one line, ক্ষুধার রাজ্যে পৃথিবী গদ্যময়, পূর্ণিমার চাঁদ যেন ঝলসানো রুটি, ঘুমিয়ে আছে শিশুর পিতা সব শিশুরই অন্তরে। ঠিক আছে? আমরা মোরা একই বৃন্তে দুইটি কুসুম, হিন্দু মুসলমান, হোয়াট এভার ইট ইজ, ওয়ান লাইন, maybe from poetry, maybe from prose, and you expand that bhav samprasaran. So through one line you are writing an essay. That is an essay writing exercise. That is an essay writing exercise. That's tremendously helpful in terms of your interpretation, your critical thinking, and all these things. That's a great way, but gradually I heard that some schools have removed it, but that's a great way of evaluating a student. Creative imagination, this is your creative imagination. আগে ছিল না আমাদের রচনা লিখতাম আমরা, ক্রিয়েটিভ এক্সপেরিমেন্টেশন যদি বলি, ইমাজিনেশন, এক্সপেরিমেন্টেশন, হোয়াট এভার ইউ টক অ্যাবাউট। একটা রচনা লিখতাম, একটা এসে লিখতাম, একটা প্যারাগ্রাফ লিখতাম, সো ইট হেল্পস আ লট। And then the reverse of it, which is we can call sharangsho. Sharangsho means you are given one paragraph. You have to give a moral story of the paragraph. What is the moral? Like if you go to Aesop's fables also, necessity is the mother of invention, right? Where there is a will, there is a way. After a story, you are getting a moral. What is the moral of the story? Or summary. Summary is a bit more than the moral, because moral in one liner, summary can be more than one lines also. But this is a practice. You are giving something bigger. You are bringing the essence of it in one line or two lines. You are giving one line. You are given one line or two lines. You are making an essay out of it. These are two great practices we used to have in our Vedic education, and in any great education, in any great schools also. It makes you great thinkers. Inductive, deductive reasoning you practice at a very early age. Your critical thinking develops. So these are the things you need to practice. Then we can take the bigger challenges in life, and we can still do things in a greater way. ঠিক আছে? ব্যাস এটাই, আবার নেক্সট সেশনে দেখা হবে।
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update. Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.